I'm with Flip and Flop here. Flip.
How you doing?
And Flop. How are you doing, Flop?
Doing great.
So,
love our job.
This is all about John Kerry. You say he's a flip-flop, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long have you guys been doing this, and who came up with the idea?
Someone from our office came up with it, and we were all around Boston all day yesterday, and we're back out on the streets today, and these are going to go all throughout the country up until the election, basically showing how young people think that John Kerry is a flip-flopper on every issue, and that he's just not fit to be our president. We need a president with strong and steady leadership, and that is George W. Bush.
Thank you. What's your name?
Jessica Beeson from Indiana.
And you're here in Boston for the first time?
Yes, actually, and it's a great way to come to Boston.
So,
I love it.
Great. Well, what inspired you guys to do this?
We love George W. Bush. That's just the bottom line. We're very passionate about this election. We want to show that the youth of America are starting to become more and more conservative. We're changing the tides in our college campuses, and this is what it's about. And conservatives can protest too.
Definitely, definitely.
And more so, young people follow a leader who has convictions, and that's President Bush. And John Kerry simply just is not a man of conviction. He has flip-flopped in every position, and we cannot have someone like that leading our country for the next 4 years.
Now, what would you say to somebody who would say that this is a situation where the guy's been in office for so many years, he's cast thousands of votes, and some of it's negotiating back and forth? How would you respond to that?
Well, I'd say that it's some people change their mind, but this person doesn't stick to his principles. He has changed his mind on every single issue, and he does it not because of the circumstances necessarily. He does it for what's politically convenient for the time, and that's just something that doesn't sit well with Americans.
What about the fact that he said when he was governor, he said that he didn't believe in nation building, and then directly after that he wanted to act to do the same thing?
Well, I think
we get that question all the time, and I think the bottom line is that George W. Bush hasn't changed his morals or his principles. Maybe he decided to rebuild Iraq after the war, but I think had we left Iraq behind and we had not done anything to help that country after we went and took it over, then we would be criticized for that. So it's caught between a rock and a hard place. But the difference between George W. Bush and John Kerry is George W. Bush does things out of principle and for purpose, and John Kerry rides the fence, and when it's 51% one way, he goes that way because it's popular. When it's 51% another way, he goes the other way because that's popular. And I think a classic example of that is the Gay Marriage Act. John Kerry was actually for gay marriage until he started running for president. Suddenly he's against it, but he hasn't come out and told the public why. And I think that it's because that's not popular to be for gay marriage.
What about George Bush? He justifies everything he does. If he drops bombs in certain places, it's always justified.
All right. Well, listen, you guys. Thanks for taking some time out.
A lot of
it's always fun to talk. Nothing more dangerous than a CR. So thanks again.
Yeah, thanks for filming us. Have a great time.
You guys are definitely much calmer than some of the guys in the cage protesting this week. It's always good to see that. Thanks again. Flip and Flop. Take care. Many here in Boston have decried the fact that the protesters have been confined to what has been described by some as a cage. We'll take you there. Encased in barbed wire, this place has been described as a pen. The whole protesters in. It's a startling confrontation of post 9/11 democracy, security.
They work as a team.
Remind us of the errors of our ways is Mohandas Gandhi. I'm here now with Jess Richardson from Mill Valley, California. And Mr. Richardson, you are a supporter of Gandhi.
Yes.
In this election and beyond.
Yes.
It's fair to say.
I am a promoter of peace.
What inspired you to bring up Gandhi here in Boston?
Well, actually it took 2 years to make Gandhi, and I began before the war in Iraq began and had the help of some high school students. And we were feeling a little bit frustrated in not being able to make our voices heard. And so out of that, Gandhi grew. And the reason that I'm here is I'm hoping to encourage Kerry to listen to the anti-war groups who have supported him and perhaps have a more peaceful platform.
It's fair to say you don't think that Gandhi would have been involved in a quagmire. like Iraq or others.
I don't think Gandhi would have done that. No.
And what your quote you have here, one of his most famous quotes. And I got to ask you about the hardware here, though. How long did it take you to make this Gandhi replica? 2 years.
2 years, and
what goes into it?
Well, it's paper mache, and it actually was going to be a smaller project than what you see here, and it began when I got a beach ball as a donation, and at that point it became a lot bigger than I anticipated.
In fact, was the beach ball became the head?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we used the paper mache to put around the beach ball.
And what's the rest of the sculpture constructed of?
That's PVC and pipe.
Have you done this before?
This is the first time. This is inventing the wheel for me.
It's really great. Well, listen, do you have a website or anything if anyone is interested?
On the flyer, yes.
Great.
I have an email, so no website as yet, but
no problem.
Get in touch, that would be good.
We'll be happy to share it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, too.
Appreciate it.
No more bullshit.
So now we've got Gandhi running. I trust Jesus, but not all those toys.
I think that you guys have some chance you have this big person who did something wrong to do. So it's like you're rubbing, but you can't be a winner.
Horsey. Horsey. Mayhem. Nothing but mayhem.
And quite frankly, as a Christian, I am against democracy. I'm for a republic. Most people don't even know the difference between a republic and a democracy. Our Pledge of Allegiance says, I pledge of allegiance to God for the republic for which it stands. It's not a democracy, it's a republic. But somewhere along the line, we've lost this. And so I'm bringing back old, traditional, Bible-believing things that bless this nation, and I will chew it into all of the delegates here. Whether they hear it or not, that's up to them. But you want to run the country right, that's what made us different, and that's why we'll always remain different.
Listen, I trust Jesus, man, but I don't trust Bush to have all these toys of mass destruction.
As soon as he's done, I'll answer your
Sorry.
questions. We're finished at this point. Okay, you bet. Thanks, guys. All right.
So,
question?
Yeah, how you doing? This is for Baltimore Public Access TV down in Baltimore. Tell me why you trust Bush so much. I trust Jesus. I don't know if I trust Bush.
That's fine.
I don't know who I trust, but I definitely trust Jesus.
Well, we just had some bad people want to take over, and I think the man did a superb job, probably better than any other candidate did. And he did that because he had a very strong military. And under Clinton, for example, the first thing he started doing was cutting back on the military. You can't do that. We need a strong military, much like we need a strong police department. Otherwise, we're going to have bad people taking over. And so I say if a mayor promotes money to give to the police department, he's done a good job, because we don't want crime, we don't want criminals. And so when we have a president that does a superb job with military, I think he's done a great job.
What's your name and where are you from?
Los Angeles. The name is Ruben Israel.
You're going to be there in New York next month?
I'll be there in New York.
I'll see you then.
You got it.
Take care, Ruben.
Don't worry.
Bye.
Okay.
Welcome to Boston and the Democratic National Convention. Now go get drunk.